Okay, so James, this is your feedback for assignment 3B, which was your practical editing task. So that was to edit the turn down for what intro using these kind of effects, so it cuts to the beat, and then to use the footage that your classmates filmed downstairs in the studio to perform lip syncing, and then obviously beat editing, cutting multiple angles. And then 3C was the write-up of this. It was a how-to guide about beat editing and lip syncing using the notes that you took in the previous lesson, where we, which was 1.6, understanding techniques in music videos, where we talked about beat editing and lip syncing. So on the wheel again, as well as your notes, it gives you reasons why we beat edit. So this is literally the merit level answers that you could put in your report. Okay, so from this one, this is example. This is your 3B. So as you can see here, good. We've got lots of cuts to beat there. That little bit, the snare drum isn't being used though, so you kind of haven't really shown a higher level of editing than that distinction. So I mean, it's kind of a solid merit level of editing. I'm not sure we've got the lip syncing here, have we? No, so we haven't used lip syncing. So the problem you're going to find now is writing your report about lip syncing. You don't have anything to compare now for the distinction, if that makes sense, because you don't have a modern version to compare to how you did it here. So that might be a bit of a problem later. So let's look through, starting off with the pass. You've talked about it's a technique. It's made to make it more interesting and appealing to the audience when you're cutting to the beat. It ensures the music video will be quick and faster paced. Good. So I think some things here you could bring in are certainly things like it visualises the mood and pace. So it's referring to Andrew Goodwin's stuff where he's talking about the relationship between music and visuals. So if it's got a slow pace, it won't always be a fast-paced edit. Yeah, so it will ensure the music video will be quicker. It won't if the beat is slow, of course. So you need to be careful there. That would show some inconsistencies in your understanding. If we move on a little bit, to create the beat editing, you've taught me through it. So you've sort of described what editing is and how you carry it out. It has a dynamic feel, so I like the way you're referring to the description of the song. And you've talked about how you've done the beat editing because there's a fast tempo. So again, there's quite a lot of stuff here that isn't necessarily explored really. Like it creates a dynamic visual style. You have talked about sort of, I suppose, the sense of pace. I think that is also important as well, this idea of the mood of it, that you could elaborate on it. It's quite an aggressive sounding song. Lip syncing, you've talked about it being a common convention. Again, don't use many reasons, okay, because that implies that you don't have a specific list. So just for 3 reasons and then give me the 3 reasons, yeah? If you only have 1 reason, then just give me 1 reason. Moving forward, we've got artist has the power. I'm not entirely sure that that's linked to lip syncing. I think it's more showing that they are the legitimate performer. So again, it's about realism of the performance, sell the realism of the performance. So I think you need to change that a little bit. It is certainly about highlighting the talent. The one thing you haven't really talked about here is about the idea that encourages the performance to be sold, so people to go and buy the tickets to do that. Okay, moving forward, the lip syncing, it wasn't realistic. So this is interesting, you've evaluated it. Again, this is just about the beat editing. Good, you talked about the fact it's boring, it's predictable, that's interesting. However, it is interesting to note that this isn't done to the beat, but there is a kind of regular pattern to it. So again, maybe compare that to what you've done there. Yeah. Second thing is lip syncing. It wasn't a frequent occurrence. Yeah, okay. So I think you've got a secure sort of merit here. I think it can be added up to a distinction if you are more thorough with your explanation of purposes, and again put in time references to your work which demonstrate where you have done these things. Once again though, this doesn't demonstrate that you've improved lip syncing because I don't have any in this video, so you might want to find another example that we looked at in class from one of these videos here that demonstrates lip syncing in some way, just so you have something to describe it to. One thing that off the top of my head, I would want to add to this is particularly the idea that it adds genuineness, a sense of kind of reinforcement that this is the artist who wrote this song, and then therefore there's something sort of legitimate and worthy about that. Okay, thank you very much.